We got another player out there that wants to add BTC to their books. Yeah, that's not news. It happens all the time. But what if I told you a player now wants to add up to 300 million of XRP to their books? Now that's news. Updates in regards to the stablecoin bill? What about 60 changes? Oh crap, this isn't going to get done anytime soon. The US has a debt problem, which might benefit BTC and crypto. We'll talk price action along with...
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
And I would heavily encourage you to follow me on Twitter, where I've been a very entertaining and naughty boy as of late. My Twitter information is linked down below. Now, before we get into the mixed bag of red and green on the screen, along with the 60 amendments to that stablecoin bill, yeah, we ain't getting that done anytime soon, we do your comments. Why? Because you, the viewer, and my wife matter most. Doing comments, doing the wife, you get what I'm saying. Andrew Butcher starts us off, says, I'm all in for Trump, but he needs to remove his whang from the honey jar. Talking about Trump getting into ETFs, getting into a wallet, oh my gosh. And I wonder what one of those 60 amendments are. I bet you it has something to do with keeping people like the president and Congress out of crypto. Chuck Kung Fu says Crypto Sensei is rated awful retard. Time to pee in his Cheerios. Yeah, there are a lot of people out there that try to screw you over on YouTube and Twitter promoting fake news and hopium. Not this channel. I bring you the news, good, bad, happy, or sad. Tango Liam's hanging out with us this morning. Says, you're the man, Klaus. Thanks for all the no BS videos. Well, I appreciate it. And remember, I share your comments from random times of the day. Hot, spicy, naughty, relevant. That's what I do. I grab those. Bitcoin sitting on... No heat map. Don't want to do it. Why? Let's just jump right into the news. Okay. MicroStrategy and their buys. I'm going to go over this because we've had a lot of questions. This is going to explain it. All right. This is going to be linked in the description down below as well. Okay. All these orange dots represent buys. Little orange dots, little buys. Big orange dots, big buys. See this dash green right here? This is his average, okay? Now check this out. People are like, yo, Saylor is one of the worst BTC traders in the world. That might be true. Here's why. When BTC was its cheapest, okay, between June, July, May of 2022, all the way to November of 2023, do you notice how he hardly bought any BTC during that time? So you notice how his average stayed flat right here, this green dash line? But then you notice how he bought the most BTC near the tip? Yeah, he FOMO'd himself. Like, think about that. When BTC was its lowest, he wasn't spending hardly any money at all. In fact, he would go months at a time without buying BTC while BTC was in the $20,000, $17,000, $18,000 range. But now that BTC's at $90,000, $100,000, dude can't spend enough on it. So you know how when you see those tweets where it's like XRP at $2, there's no one standing in the line. And then it's like XRP at $10,000 and there's like a ton of people standing in the line. Dude, that's kind of like Saylor, except instead of XRP, it's BTC. For real, look at the chart. Most of Saylor's buys have been right here while BTC has been above 80, 90,000. And look at his green dash line. His average has skyrocketed since the November election. So it seems like Saylor is FOMOing himself. It's almost like Saylor is Ponziing himself. Yeah, Ponziing himself. I don't think that's an adjective, but I'm making it one this morning. By the way, happy hump day to y'all. Eleanor Tourette's hanging out with us in the hood, and she says, new update on the Genius Act amendment negotiations. So, if you see someone on crypto Twitter, or if you see someone on YouTube that says, oh, they're going to pass the bill right away, they're lying to you. I'm told that more than 60 amendments have been floated so far, and that Senate Republicans and Democrats are now negotiating to pare that list down to a more manageable number. If they reach a deal, the bill could be on the Senate floor time before the end of the week. If not, procedural hurdles will likely slow things down and push potential final passage into next week. So yeah, it's going to take some time. And then they got to send it to the House. So yeah, we got some time. 60 different amendments so far, and one of the biggest ones that they want to do, they want to stop big companies like X, like Meta, from doing their own stable coins. They also want to keep Trump and people in Congress out of crypto. That's a big thing. Okay, I'll keep you updated as it happens. Whoa, Spanish coffee ban. I'm gonna leave that in. I make mistakes too. Spanish coffee brand plans to invest over $1 billion in BTC. Local media, Alcanta Plaza, reports that the company's chairman, Salvador Marti, recently proposed his plan to the board. Okay, here is why I'm bringing this up, because we've been talking a lot about Saylor and Garlinghouse, right? Here's the deal, and this kind of comes into the bottom of the article. That's why you guys you don't have to read it. I do it. I do the news scrubbing for you, and I bring it to you so you don't have to. Nonetheless, Marty still considers Bitcoin the best hope of saving Venati from its recent financial woes. All right, so he looks at BTC as a life vest. This ambition could be driven by the growing interest in government among institutions and governments. Okay, since MicroStrategy began buying Bitcoin in August 2020, the trend has gained global momentum. Okay, so again, players are looking at MicroStrategy and Saylor as like, yo, this is working for him. This is working for that company. We should do it too. That's my point. Saylor is garnering a lot of attention. Saylor is garnering a lot of momentum and a lot of respect in this. Many companies are now converting a large part of their cash reserves into Bitcoin or raising funds to acquire the asset. As previously reported, at least 12 companies, including GameStop, have invested in Bitcoin. This trend may not end anytime soon, especially as the United States intends to buy and hold BTC as a reserve asset. So my whole point here is that, yeah, you're always going to see players getting into BTC. But it's the fact that you have these whales like Saylor constantly posting this stuff about BTC out there that's getting more players to FOMO into BTC. And yes, I'm going to share with you soon about a Ripple XRP one, but you need more players to get more players to coming into the XRP version. So what's happening with XRP is very slow, but you're starting to see it happen. You're starting to see more companies do it. That's good. It's just very slow. But with the BTC movement, man, you're just seeing more and more companies pile into it. So for those of you out there that think Saylor wants to play nice in the sandbox, no. Saylor wants to step on the throat of all the altcoins and crush them. He wants BTC and that's it. And again, this company right here does not want to buy alts. They want to buy BTC only. That's why you got to pay attention to this stuff. That's why these maxis out here don't give a crap about the alts. They just care about BTC. Okay, let's keep learning. You ready? Bitcoin will take over as a reserve currency. I can't talk this morning. Claims Coinbase CEO. This is messed up, okay, because we got some really big debt problems. And listen to what Brian Armstrong said. If the electorate doesn't hold Congress accountable to reducing the deficit and start paying down the debt, Bitcoin is going to take over as a reserve currency. I love Bitcoin, but a strong America is also super important for the world. We need to get our finances under control. So we got like this huge debt problem. This is global debt. This is like all countries. And basically what he's saying is we got a problem here because with debt spiraling out of control, more players are going to flock to BTC as a safe haven asset. And with this latest spending bill coming in, we're raising the debt even more, which is just crazy, forcing more players to go into BTC. So when you have Armstrong out here, who obviously is pro-crypto, saying, yo, even I'm scared, I'm pro-American, but I'm also realizing that we're screwing ourselves, you got to pay attention. All right, let's get into Ripple XRP news. Okay, Ripple news. Weebus confirms $300 million plan in official SEC filing. No, this is real. This is real. Here is the SEC filing, Form 6K. So no, this is not a lie. No, this is not fake stuff. This is real. You can find this stuff on Edgar, which is the SEC's actually filing. See, I bring you the real news, not the fake stuff, like other bad, naughty people out there. The filing, dated June 3rd, 2025, outlines the company's signing of a delegated digital asset management agreement with Samara Alpha Management. According to the filing, Weebus signed the agreement on June 2nd, one day before submitting the document. The deal sets up a strategic framework for a potential future digital asset treasury operation centered around the SEC. The SEC document makes clear that Weebus has not made any asset purchases yet, but the firm has put a professional manager in charge of managing the way the digital assets such as XRP is used, following specific directions. Okay, so here is the deal, everyone. And by the way, this is all linked down below, okay? Here's their 6K form. They talk about it. It's all legit. It's real. You got more players now getting into this. Now, are they going to buy OTC? Obviously. Eventually, though, it's going to help us out. It just sucks because they buy it at a lower price, right? They get the cushy insider price action. Does it slowly put a little bit of a supply squeeze on? Yes, it does. Is it as big as a $1 billion buy? No. But we've seen recently, we've gotten more and more and more of these buys. So there was a $120 million buy. Now you've got a $300 million. These are going to add up eventually. So this is good news, and this is real news. Now, broader crypto market volume, 106 billion. Okay, the markets are kind of soft this week in terms of volume. Altcoin season, 23 out of 100. Okay, not too bad. Institutional money, we had 3 days in a row of outflows back into inflows. Zoom out to the year, the majority of inflows. Okay, so still no worries here when it comes to institutional money. We're still doing good. What will really flow in a bunch of institutional money? That stablecoin bill, followed by the bill in the House to regulate the rest of the crypto market. All this blob up on the screen. And for real, y'all should follow me on Twitter because it has been a lot of fun lately. Let's go to XRP price. All right, XRP volume, 2.4 billion. Kinda, kinda meh. I mean, midweek, you kind of wish for a little bit more, but there hasn't really been anything too juicy going on. Let's take a look at those candlesticks, see if anything jumps out at us. We're going to go to the 15-minute variant right here. We did have a low here as of late. Did anyone want to buy that dip on the 31st of May at 208 for XRP? Let me know in the comments down below. Were you buying the dip at 208? Is that low enough for you, XRP fans, 208? We haven't really had a sub $2 pullback for XRP in the last 6 weeks or so. We didn't have one in May. Are we going to have one in June? Well, we're going to find out here soon. Either way, we're in the friend zone right now. 224. Yeah, I know it's higher than the 208 that we saw here just a couple days ago, but it's still nothing hot. I mean, 2 weeks ago, we were in the 240s. 3 weeks ago, we were in the 260s. So 224, yeah, it's better than where we were a couple days ago, but it's still not juicy. Now, the chartists out there might be like, oh, but bro, we're going to go to the moon. I don't know what the F word that they're talking about, because the reality is we got to get all the trade and tariff stuff figured out. We also got to get the stablecoin bills being done. And as Brian Armstrong stated, and I agree with him, if we don't get the debt stuff figured out, we're going to have a massive, massive problem here. And debt is going to be a problem. Trade's going to be a problem. And let's get some darn rags, and let's see if Jerome Powell can start doing something with the rates. So, third quarter might be a little bit of a snooze fest, everyone. But you know what? Fourth quarter might be roaringly fun. The XRP reserve asset thing is actually good news. It's just not like groundbreaking good news or melting faces, grown men will cry. It's not like that. And eventually, yes, it's going to help us out price-wise. But the reality is the 300 million buy plus the 121 million, that's all OTC. And the reality is when you have a circulating supply that's going to get to 100 billion, those numbers don't do much. Because think about it, right? If XRP for easy math is right around $2 and someone's buying $300 million worth of it, that's only 150 million XRP. If the circulating supply is going to be 100 billion, there's a lot of 150 millions in 100 billion. So you get my point. And when you see with the BTC thing, players are dumping in billions at a time, not millions at a time. And speaking of the whole BTC thing, the reason I highlighted that article about that Spanish company doing it is because a lot of these players globally, spherical, see what I'm doing here, are citing what's happening with Michael Saylor and Strategy. They're saying, hey, look, what this company has done has saved this company and has really, really kind of honestly been like a lifeboat to them. And with Saylor going, yo, it's BTC or nothing, that message has been like a beacon for other players out there to do the exact same thing. So no, he doesn't want to play nice in the sandbox with other people. He has never once said anything nice about any other crypto out there. For him, there's only one crypto that's BTC. The rest of it is just poop sandwich. So as he's been proclamating how BTC is the only one, he's been able to get more players to come in with big wallets spending billions of dollars in BTC. which then leaves the alts like, what about us? And that's my point. What about us? So now we're sitting here going, okay, what do we got? Well, stablecoins. Stablecoin amendment is good. That'll help bring more money into the market and more trust. And once we get that stablecoin bill done, then we could focus on the rest of crypto. Because like, I get it. The House is working on the thing over here. The Senate's working on stablecoins. The reality is, though, is we're really not going to put a lot of oomph into what the House is working on until the Senate does their stuff first. I know they're both working on them at the same time, but the reality is the Senate one is taking the priority right now. So as soon as we get that Senate stablecoin bill done, then we can work on the juicy regs, which helps the rest of us. Because the reality is, a lot of players out there in the financial world don't feel comfortable about the alts right now to jump in. The reason they don't feel comfortable is because right now, what is regulating crypto? A bunch of executive orders. And the next president could come in with their own set of executive orders and wipe all these away. And then these companies would be like, oh, crap, are we doing things illegal again? Because think, if the next president that comes in has a whole different viewpoint than Trump on crypto, then they could appoint their version of SEC. Maybe they're anti-crypto. Then they could appoint anti-crypto SEC people. Then crypto would get wrecked again, and then we could go back into the dungeon. You see what I mean? So that's why players are like, yo, we need to see the regs before we really get into the juicy action. So that's why this whole stablecoin thing is really big. And that's why it's really big to follow what Saylor is doing. Because I get it. We're not maxis, but he is like converting more and more players to his strategy. See what I did right there? And we're starting to see now more players get into the XRP strategy. And I'm telling you, you'll see even more people get into the XRP Sol Ethan strategy and other alt strategies once we get the crypto bill. But it's going to take some time. So hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. Drop a like if you like what you saw on the channel. Because remember, my job is to bring you the news, whether it's good, bad, happy, or sad. Happy hump day, everyone, otherwise known as Wednesday. For those of you that do not have someone to do that with, remember your hand is always good. It's always safe, and choo-choo what? Choo-choo piss nachos.